Hey 49er fans, I'm Thomas Mott. Welcome into Chat Sports, and we have breaking news. You've probably seen the incredibly good news. George Kittle is signed. He has a brand new contract, and we've been talking about this for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. Would it get done? Will it get done? When could it get done? Guess what? It's done. Signed, sealed, delivered. George Kittle will be a 49er for the next 5 years, and he has completely reset the tight end market with the overall contract, but has still kept it relatively team-friendly. This is a fantastic deal overall for all 49er fans, for George Kittle, and 49er players in general. And it comes at a time when we had heard earlier this week, right, that they were far away. It might not be done soon. We talked about it here on the 49ers Report, and I said, right, you probably heard it on a video a couple days ago, this is the pivotal week because they put on pads on Monday, and if there's no contract by Monday, they put on pads, they're probably not going to get one done. So it was a pivotal week. We told you to be, right, watching, looking, waiting for the contract, and here it is. We were absolutely right. And guess what? The money, it's exactly what I wanted it to be, exactly what I told you I would sign George Kittle for. So here's the breakdown. 5 years, $75 million. Man, I wish it was a tight end in the National Football League. $15 million per year and $30 million of guaranteed money. Now, the $30 million of guaranteed money is important, but the number I want to focus on is $15 million a year. You remember the conversation, right? Okay, well, some tight ends, like the market we'll talk about in a second, was $10 million was the max for Hunter Henry. Kittle wanted $20 million a year, and I said, there's no way that you go from 10 to 20, and you want me as a 49er or GM, right, hypothetically, to pay him $20 million a year. Not a chance. I would not have paid him $20 million a year. What did I say? Meet in the middle. And that's exactly what they did at $15 million a year. So he's paid significantly more than the highest paid tight end in the NFL, but he still is less than a wide receiver, less than Julio Jones, less than Odell Beckham Jr., and not to the wide receiver class caliber of money, and that's exactly where I'd put George Kittle in the overall tight end spectrum. Fantastic news, great deal. We're going to break it down more here in just 1 second. Grade the contract, though, A through F. I don't know why you would give this anything below an A+, because this is as good as you could possibly have hoped, but give me a grade on the contract right now down below. I'm going to go A+++. Like as many A+s as I could put in the chat right now is what I would do if I were you, because this is an absolutely fantastic contract overall. Okay, now we move on to exactly where he ranks in terms of the highest paid tight ends in the NFL. He obviously is the highest paid tight end, but as we just talked about, $15 million a year is a significant amount of money because it is significantly more than Hunter Henry, who also, of course, is going to be a free agent here very, very soon. He makes about $10.6 million per year, and then Hooper sits there at 10.5, Travis Kelce, Kyle Rudolph in the 9s, Gronk in the 9s, and then Zach Ertz kind of being at the bottom of the high tier at $8.5 million per year. So $15 more million dollars, $15 million total. $5 more million than Hunter Henry. Again, resets the tight end market completely, and that means for future tight end contracts, the future Travis Kelce deal, the future Zach Ertz deal, possibly a future deal by a younger tight end in the National Football League, whoever emerges to be a great tight end, are going to have to start paying a lot more, and it's all due, obviously, to George Kittle. Now, how did we get here? The fact is, he was fantastic in 2019. He's been fantastic every year in San Francisco. But last year, he kind of proved that he's not just a tight end. He's an everything tight end. He can do everything on the football field because some tight ends can just block. Some tight ends can just catch. Some tight ends can kind of catch, but they can't really go outside and play with a wide receiver position. They can only catch from a three-point stance or be in the tight end stance. George Kittle can block. He blocks very well, by the way. He's one of the best tight end blockers in the National Football League. He can block. He can catch over the middle like you want every tight end to do. But he can also stretch out and be the receiver on the top of a formation, the top of a bunch formation, in a trips formation, whatever you want. And he can run some of those NFL routes and work against corners, against DBs, and against linebackers. It's exactly why he's the highest paid tight end in the National Football League. All the 49ers that I've seen have been tweeting about this. They're pumped about it. It makes a ton of sense, and it's good news for both Niner fans and for San Francisco in general. And speaking of George Kittle, right? George Kittle, of course, is going to be here for the next 5 years. So why not go ahead and pick up some George Kittle official gear right now at chatsports.com/Kittle. We have a ton of jerseys right now. You have t-shirts that have his number on the back. You have the face coverings that with his logo on there as well and his autograph. It's all there. All your George Kittle gear that you could possibly hope for, all authentic right now at chatsports.com/Kittle. Link is down below in the description box. And listen, I've had times where I'll buy gear for an NFL team, and that player will be traded or cut a year later. George Kittle's not going anywhere, so you're guaranteed to be able to rock that George Kittle jersey for at least the next 5 years, and I would argue probably a little bit further in the future because he'll probably get another contract. He's just that good. But again, all your gear if you want at chatsports.com/Kittle, the place to go ahead and pick those up. The 49ers tight end depth chart obviously remains the same as we stand now. The Jordan Reed thing was interesting, and some people thought, well, is this, smoking because they want to try to force Kittle's hand? Is he going to have a big impact? This is now the best of both worlds, right? Because you get a signed George Kittle, and then you get a good number 2 backup tight end if, heaven forbid, Kittle were to get injured, or if they just want to run a bunch of 2 tight end, 12 personnel looks from the offensive perspective. You have 2 guys who are over 6'3". I mean, big guys in terms of Kittle and Jordan Reed, both lined up in the slot or in a tight formation. It's going to be very difficult for a linebacker or a safety to match up against both of those guys. Dwelley will remain the 3rd tight end, but now, with both these guys locked up in terms of Jordan Reed and George Kittle, you could almost move Ross Dwelley to the practice squad and just carry 2 tight ends on your starting 53-man rotation and free up more space for an extra wide receiver, an extra running back, an extra O-lineman, whatever you would possibly want to do. Okay, one-word reaction to the George Kittle signing. Just give me one word, right? I'm going to go with pumped. My word would be pumped right now because I was getting a little bit worried. And you probably heard say, Thomas, you kept telling us, I don't know, is it going to get done? Is it going to get done? And then guess what? It actually got done. So I'm pumped. That's my one-word reaction. Give me your guys' one-word reaction down below in the comment section. But just to wrap it all up, to put a bow on it, this is fantastic news. There's a lot of times in the NFL where you can debate, was that a good deal? Was that a good signing? Was that a good trade? You can go back and forth. There is going to be no one out there, unless you're crazy or a lunatic, right? You're just crazy town, who's going to say this is a bad deal. It's a great deal for George Kittle because he gets his money, and he earned it and deserved it. It's a great deal for the 49er team because as a whole, it shows, hey, when you produce at a very high level, you will get paid in our organization. It's a great deal for future tight end contracts. If you are not a 49er and you want to get paid, this resets the market. And a great deal for the top brass in San Francisco to lock down one of the best players, not just tight ends, one of the best players in the entire National Football League. So fantastic news overall. The 5-year, $75 million deal, $30 million guaranteed, about $15 million per year. Congratulations, George Kittle. We've been rooting for it. They got it done. You were the first to see it covered here on the 49ers Report. Now, of course, be sure to subscribe because I told you, right? I literally have been saying for weeks, subscribe, click the notification bell. That way, when the George Kittle news breaks, boom, we're putting this thing up immediately. I mean, literally, as soon as this broke, I'm filming this, the producers will produce it, and then it goes up. It's as fast as we can possibly get it up, and that's for your benefit. So, if you have not subscribed, you're just watching this channel for the first time, or you've been a fan and you're like, Thomas, he delivered on the breaking news, right? He called it. He said this was a big week, and here we are. The deal's done. He called $15 million. I got to my own horn. I called $15 million per year. Did I not? Go back and check the tape, right? Subscribe to the 49ers Report, the best YouTube channel regarding the 49ers. For me, the best online coverage for San Francisco at all. Give us a thumbs up for nailing this breaking news as well. I appreciate each and every one of you as we go ahead and sign off. I am Thomas Mott, your 49ers host, reporter, and fearless leader as we cover the 49ers better than anybody else on the entire internet. Congratulations, George Kittle. Congratulations to all you 49er fans. To, of course, John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan. It's a good news, a big day to be a 49er fan. Hope you guys are as pumped as I am. All the time you have for today here in the 49ers Report. I'm Thomas Mott signing off. Enjoy the rest of your day.